Hi. Happy, what day of the week is it? Wednesday? Thank you guys so much for coming out and joining us for our Innovation Unleashed event. We are here to celebrate the work that the businesses in our 8.0 cohort have been doing for the last 6 months in partnership with our city departments. We're really excited to get started and talk about what that work looks like. But first, I wanted to just acknowledge that we have a lot of different people. There's a lot of diversity in the audience. Everyone from diversity in every sense of the word. Everyone from those that helped found this program 8 years ago are here, which is really cool, to people that are here just to learn about the program for the first time. So that's really neat. My name is Alette, and I get to manage this program with my colleague Trevor Stahl, right over there. And my director, Gwen, just walked into the room. I'm going to put her in the limelight and ask her to come up here to kick us off.
Sorry, I was working late. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This is our 8th cohort after 2016, and we really appreciate all of your participation. As you know, today we have a diverse group of attendees, some of our former cohort members, some current members, and some potential members. When we first started the PGH Lab, it really was to try to incorporate some of our initiatives and to provide some of the developers within the city the opportunity to experiment and provide a test bed for both the city and for most of our authorities. We've had, I can't think of maybe 20 different groups or more, and 47, I'm sorry. And we've also purchased many of those and given people opportunities to actually start businesses. One of the ones that I was interested in, especially because I'm a gardener, is I did the worming group. We had the worming group that helped us out a lot. So we really appreciate you being here today. We look forward to continuing our engagement together. Both the mayor and our council are would like very much to increase our population so that we can remain a first-class city, and these initiatives will help us to do that by providing jobs and test beds for potential developers. So thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.
So PGH Lab has kind of a two-pronged approach in the work that we do. We focus on both innovating local government as well as bringing in diverse talent, diverse businesses, and entrepreneurs that are trying to test out their minimum viable products. So the process goes, we put out a call, we get some amazing businesses putting up their applications telling us what kind of amazing work they're doing, and Trevor and I get to act as kind of a matchmaker. It's not really about how good or bad your application is, it's more about, do we have someone at the city right now who is able to work with you on this idea? And we think that we get really amazing applications every single year. We're really excited by this group that we have here tonight to show you the work that they have been up to. And we're really excited to hear about what lessons the city departments have learned from you guys, from the work that you've been doing with them. I want to emphasize that PGH Lab is a lab, first and foremost. We make room for innovation. We make room for success and failure. It's all a learning opportunity. We hope that the businesses get to when they, embrace the bureaucracy of government and run with it, and we hope that we can also benefit from learning about the amazing work that you guys bring through our door as well. So before we get to hear from you guys about your experience and the partnerships that you've been working on for the last 6 months, I would love to welcome our mayor, Mayor Gainey, to come talk to us about what our role of innovation is in government. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Oh, we can do better now. We come to celebrate entrepreneurship, celebrate business, innovation, technology, growth, and making sure that we continue to build a city where everybody is welcome. Let me try this again. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Good. I want to thank you for joining us here as we learn more about the innovative new ideas that the companies that have worked with the city have been able to create and build right here in our most livable city. So before I go any further, I just want to thank everybody, my departments, and all the business and entrepreneurs that have worked with our departments. We appreciate you. And I also want to, Aaliyah, Ty, can you come up for a minute? Trevor, can y'all come up for a minute? I think that y'all should give them a standing ovation for the work that they put in. I really like that. I appreciate that. And secondly, I want them to stay up here in case I pronounce these names wrong now, so they can help me out. So I want to name the names and the department leads that we got. Ervis, did I get it right? Can you stand up? Your name? Ian. Ian, can we give Ian a hand as he is sponsored by the Department of City Planning? Ecotone Renewables, did I say it right? Ecotone Renewables, can you say your name? Y'all can't hear him while he clapping now. Can you say your name? Say it again.
Dylan Liv.
Dylan, thank you, Dylan. Dylan is sponsored by the Department of City Planning. Green Bean, you hear Green Bean? There we go. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Department of Human Resources, and tell them your names.
Yeah, I'm Wilson Morse.
Yeah, turn around and let them know.
Wilson Morse. I'm Wyatt Miller.
Thank y'all so much. Pittsburgh Drone Services. All right, wow. She got some love out there, all right? And she's being sponsored by let me make sure I get it right, Department of Human Services. Element Exo Inc. Okay, thank you. And he's being sponsored by Department of Public Works. PLI. Ploy Platform. Poly Platform. Listen. So I got to see him, I think we were on a Zoom, and he was on his way overseas to Italy. And his presentation on a train to Italy was phenomenal. I don't even know all that he said, but I was like, we got to do business with him because he's making this presentation sound good, and he on his way on a train to Italy. I just want to say I thought that was powerful. Thank you. Sponsored by the mayor's office. Reto Software, did I get it right? Roto, I'm sorry, Roto Software, can I get it right? Okay. And what's your name? Okay, Department of City Planning, all right? Can y'all stand up one more time, everybody I name? Can you give them a hand for their business? You know, I think it's powerful. Thank y'all so much. I think it's powerful when city departments work with entrepreneurs in innovative and technology ways to make this a better city, and also do business with them to give them the opportunity to not only realize their dream, but to start with a city contract. And when you start with a city business, you know you're doing business because you're guaranteed to get paid. That don't mean you get paid fast. It might be slow, but you're getting paid. So anybody that's doing work with the government, you know this. So I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because this is what makes this city so great. And you're so right, the diversity that's in this room and the diversity of the businesses that we're talking about, if we're going to build a city for all, it's not the programs we have, it's the people that make the programs. Thank you.
We're going to jump into the showcase, but I also want to say that this event is also meant to recognize the innovation ecosystem that we are just a part of here in Pittsburgh. And I want to take a second to thank our partners and co-hosts that helped make this event happen. So Innovation Works, anyone here from Innovation Works? We've got Ray, we've got Kirk, if you guys want to raise your hands. Pittsburgh Tech Council. Do you guys want to, all right, come on up. Pittsburgh Tech Council's 40 by 40, if Maria's around. There she is. And Riverside Center for Innovation, we've got both Juan and Tori. Thank you guys so much. And there are so many other people here in the room that are part of the ecosystem, and we're really excited to have a conversation with you all about what that ecosystem looks like and what we need it to look like in the future. But just wanted to take a second and say thank you so much for all the work that you've done and all the work that you continue to do for the businesses in Pittsburgh every single day. Thank you. Yeah. And in that vein, I think you saw there was a couple of events that we'll pitch to you at the end of this one to keep the love going for the innovation ecosystem. Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Trevor, and we're going to get the showcase started. After the showcase, we'll have a panel discussion about the innovation ecosystem. So, all right, I'm going to hand it over. Thank you, everyone.
All right, now I got to move this back up. It had to happen at some point. So again, to kind of echo Ella, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Mayor, for your words. Gwen, our director, I saw you somewhere for yours as well. We're really glad that you all could join us here today. This has been a long 6 months, even though it seems like only yesterday, really, we were welcoming companies. But with all of that, a lot of work has been done, and we are really excited to kind of showcase to you all what we've accomplished this year. So we've got 7 companies in this cohort. And first up, we're actually going to have Poly Platform. I'm going to ask the companies and the city champions to both come up. So Kamal Green, if you could come up, and as well as Felicity. Yeah, Felicity Williams, you're going to be representing for us today. Kamal worked with the Office of Neighborhood Services. Keep wanting to say affairs. And together, they were able to do a pilot here. So we're going to show you kind of a recording real quick of what was accomplished, and then they're going to speak a little bit to perhaps what comes next.
Hello, my name is Kamal Green, founder and CEO of Poly Platform. I can distinctly remember at an early age passing out flyers from person to person. Can you vote for my mom? Can you vote for my mom? See, my mother's running for a city council position seat, and it was then when she instilled into me the importance of opportunity, access, and being able to thoroughly communicate with your residents. However, the reality is that 75% of residents we surveyed in other cities say they don't even know what's happening within their city. And this disconnect is even higher amongst underrepresented communities.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Rinaldo, and I'm the Senior Manager for Mayor Gainey's Neighborhood Services team. Our team manages community engagement and constituent relations for the city of Pittsburgh. We have so many things happening all the time that residents can be a part of, but it's a constant challenge to get the word out to all of our neighbors. That's why we're so excited to partner with Poly Platform through PGH Lab to pilot a solution.
We offer cities a mobile app that enables residents to learn about events, receive instant notifications, and respond to polls and surveys. This allows residents to interact with the city all from their mobile devices. You no longer have to rely on flyers posted around the city and miss out on meetings, events, because you're unaware of them. Now you can access the city of Pittsburgh right from the palm of your hands.
Our goal is to ensure that all city projects, services, and engagement opportunities are accessible and informed by lots of input. To achieve this, we believe that a mobile solution like the My Pittsburgh app can help us reach thousands of residents who may have felt excluded in the past.
Download the My Pittsburgh app today in the Android store as well as the Apple store. Tell us what you think and be engaged.
If you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
So it's been an awesome opportunity working with the city. Our main goal, our aim is really digitizing government to make it more accessible and socially inclusive. The experience has been great. We're excited about the launch, and so download the app. It's My Pittsburgh app. It's in the iOS and Android store. And so thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. So yes, you guys got a chance to see the rollout here. You can download the app right now. We'll be doing some marketing and communications pushes starting next week so that the rest of the city knows about this opportunity. We have been so fortunate to partner with you and Poly Platform. We've learned a lot in this process, and I think it'll be a great way for us to continue to improve how we engage with our residents, how we really meet people where they are. Everybody's on a phone, not everybody's going to a website, and so we want to really try to meet people at those points, and we're really excited to do that. So thank you so much. Stay.
So real quickly, we'd have one more honor we'd like to bestow upon you, Kamal, for your progress, for your efforts, and really just, taking a leap of faith to help us tackle this government excitement. Yeah. So with that, Mayor, if I may.
Just because you were so fantastic on that train, this is for you. I want to congratulate you. I'd like to talk to you too.
All right, next up, we actually have Ecotone Renewables coming. So quick round of applause. I'd also like to welcome up their city champion, Afton Giles, from the Department of City Planning.
Hi. My name is Afton Giles, and I'm City Planning's Principal Planner for Sustainability and Resilience. Each year, over 89,000 tons of food waste end up in landfills. Though a valuable resource, when trashed, food scraps become a problem for our air quality. Composting is one of the best ways to reduce not only the amount of waste reaching the landfills, but air emissions as well, all while recharging our soil. With PGH Lab and Ecotone Renewables, we're piloting Pittsburgh's first municipal-scale approach to composting. This is one of many solutions we're deploying on our journey to becoming a zero-waste city.
Hi, my name is Kyle Weich. My co-founders are Dylan Liu and Elliot Bennett. We are Ecotone Renewables, a Pittsburgh-based company that is manufacturing and scaling solutions to sustainably convert food waste into renewable resources. Pittsburgh has an aggressive goal to become a zero-waste city by 2030. Our solution to this challenge is the Zeus Digester, an on-site option for community centers, buildings, and residents. Easy to use, this system quickly and cleanly processes 500 pounds of food waste per week and turns it into renewable energy and our signature soil sauce. Just like a kombucha for your gut, soil sauce liquid fertilizer introduces beneficial microbes into the soil, improving long-term soil quality. We are dedicated to donating 10% of soil sauce to local communities across Pittsburgh, and we are partnering with the city to create a new garden right here in the Homewood Senior Center.
Outside of PGH Lab, we are already looking to introduce more Ecotone digesters across Pittsburgh. We have confirmed 4 additional sites with 3 installations projected to finish this summer. To learn more about composting pilots in Pittsburgh, visit Engage PGH.
And if you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you, Afton, for all the support the past few months as well. It's been an absolute pleasure working with the city of Pittsburgh, trying to help us make measurable progress towards becoming a zero food waste city by 2030. Ecotone Renewables sustainably converts food waste into powerful liquid fertilizer and renewable energy, and we're working closely with Afton to make this a scalable solution across the city as soon as next year in 2024. So looking forward to answering some questions throughout the afternoon, and thank you all for your support.
Just want to echo Dylan by saying thank you to PGH Lab for indulging us. It hasn't been the easiest thing in the world, but it has been a really fun experience. We're super proud of this project, especially because it is a locally created solution. So, I mean, it can't get any more local than this. You know, the technology was developed at, started at CMU, and, they're actually developing the infrastructure for the digesters as close as Wilkinsburg. So you can't get any more hyper-local, and that's exactly what this program is about, is supporting Pittsburgh and supporting local, homegrown Pittsburgh businesses. When you think about composting, you think about all the icky things that go along with it, the smell that goes along with it, the insects. The permitting is really a challenging thing, but we were able to work with Ecotone and work through all of those issues in order to find a really clean solution that we're hoping is going to work long term and allow our residents to be able to do some drop-off composting. So hopefully we'll be able to keep the momentum going, and we'll be able to get the support that we need so that we can hopefully at least have one Ecotone, hopefully in every council district by next year. That's the aspiration, but we'll see how it goes. But thank you again.
Mayor?
Every council district?
Hopefully.
That's amazing.
Yes, working on it.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Every council district, that'll be a record.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you. We're going to keep things moving. So next up, we have Roto Software. Rodella, if I can ask you up here, please. Ella, unfortunately, their city champion couldn't be here, so Ella is going to speak on their behalf today. But we'll start with the video, please.
Hi, my name is Mahtabin Rodilla, and I'm the co-founder of Roto Software. I was homeless during the first 2 months as an international student in this country due to unforeseen circumstances. I recall passing days and nights in hunger, sometimes unable to sleep. One day, as I was passing a building on campus, I saw catered food being dumped in bulk into dumpsters. This is where the idea for my app, Free Food Near Me, was born.
Hi, I'm Shelley Danko-Day. I'm the food planner for the City of Pittsburgh. The City of Pittsburgh has many interventions to keep wasted food from the landfills. Right now, the city has a compost initiative for inedible foods, and we also have close partnerships with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank and 412 Food Rescue to redirect uncooked, unprepared foods. But there's a gap in redistributing prepared foods.
Free Food Near Me is a centralized platform that directly connects active food seekers with businesses who have excess food. As a student, I can simply log in, search Free Food Near Me, and be alerted when a business reports excess food in their location. It saves time and money while reducing food waste and hunger.
The city has a goal to reduce food waste by 50% by the year 2030 and to achieve zero hunger. Managing food waste is an overwhelming problem, and we need to use all the tools we have to make an impact. And this is a tool that can make a big difference.
It's been 2 years since I've spent a single dollar on food. There is enough food out there to eliminate hunger. We just need to make those connections. Download the Free Food Near Me app on your mobile device and sign up today.
If you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here. I cannot thank everyone enough, like my cohort, Trevor, Ala, the whole program. It has been amazing, a big learning experience for me. This whole thing started as a very small hackathon fun project at CMU, which I thought could help students out, but I think after joining here, I could see more bigger potential in spreading it outside of Pittsburgh community, especially in the hunger zone areas of Pittsburgh. And we have an app. We have a very good website version running, and then we're translating it into an app. It's just me and another student working with me. So we're just 2 people, and then we're gonna grow up. We're all students, and it's really fun. It has been amazing, and we really want to assist the food before it goes in the dump and gets rediscovered by Ecotone out there. It's just, in a summary, it has been a great journey, and then I learned so much from here and from the people, especially my cohort, and how everyone interacts and then solves problems together, and then, exactly.
And like Trevor mentioned, Shelly could not be here. I don't think I can say it better than she did in the video, but I do want to say that Shelly really did love working with Ordella, and finding space for prepared foods to be redistributed is a gap in our ecosystem right now. And she had a lot of fun working with you to figure out what that looks like. And I mean, supporting a CMU student who came up with this idea. And can I just say, Ordella did this while she was a senior at CMU. Was it a senior, or are you doing your math?
I was a final year master's student.
Master's student at CMU. She has developed this product, and she showed up to the PGH Lab sessions that we would have every month. And so just take a second to really congratulate this amazing person on all that she has done.
Mayor?
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, progressing us forward here. Next up, we're going to have Pittsburgh Drone Services. So Dr. Lori, if you would please come up. And then we also have Neil Garbeck from Permitting, License, and Inspection. So welcome back.
Hi, my name is Dr. Lori Paludi, and I am the founder of Pittsburgh Drone Services, an unmanned aviation company that is focused on providing workforce education and flight training for industrial enterprises. In 2014, I never thought that by taking home a tiny toy drone, I would be taking with me the future of the workforce. Seeing the way drones help farmers, construction, and public safety workers solve challenges provided the incentive I needed to continue spreading drone technology into new areas.
Hello, my name is Neil Gerbeck. I am the Systems Operations Supervisor for the Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections, PLI for short. Through partnering with Pittsburgh Drone Services, I saw an opportunity to innovate our inspection processes. PLI staff that are certified drone operators will be able to assess potentially hazardous components of a building from the safety of the right-of-way. We'll also have the ability to inspect areas we previously could not observe, like the roof or rear foundation of a condemned building. These inspections will help us prioritize which properties we demolish through the city-funded demolition process. If the pilot program is successful, the drones seem easy to operate, and the drones are not intrusive on neighbors. PLI will look to adopt drone use during construction inspections, which further will help reach our goal of making inspections as safe as possible.
Of the 280,000 people certified to pilot drones nationally, over 3,500 are in Pennsylvania. With over $5 billion invested in drone technology in the past 2 years, unmanned aviation will help diversify our city's workforce and increase safety on the job. Though we assist schools with drone aviation education and certification globally, Pittsburgh Drone Services has a centralized location in Pittsburgh with 4 divisions, a fleet of 10 commercial drones, and 20 partnerships. Learn more by visiting our website, pittsburghdroneservices.net.
If you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
Well, I think my big mouth doesn't usually need a microphone, but But I'd like to thank Pittsburgh Lab for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and my city champion who stood by me through all the challenges and all the things that I've learned. This was a tremendous, wonderful journey because this company had one goal when it was formed, and it was actually formed by accident. As you've seen the tiny drone on the video, I got that drone when I got lost. And I stopped in a toy store and they were flying this little tiny toy drone around. I had no idea what a drone was. And from that moment forward, look to where we are now. So it was incredible of how things transformed. Beautiful ecosystem here in Pittsburgh with innovation. And I saw all of it grow, so I'm very proud to be a part of it, and especially in the city of Pittsburgh.
I want to thank Dr. Laurie for, for doing workforce development to our 2 PLI employees who are now going to be drone certified. As the video said, our #1 goal in partnering with Dr. Laurie is to improve safety. We are doing safe inspections from the white right away, and hopefully eventually we expand this pilot program into our everyday permitting world, where our inspectors don't have to climb up a roof to view a very simple and very easy roofing inspection. So again, I want to thank Dr. Laurie, and I think the footage on the video speaks for itself. That was some of the clearest footage I've seen for, this great video in a long time. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Doc.
Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, man. You gotta get that.
She does go with the drone everywhere.
My son would love it.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, so next up we're gonna have Green Bean. Wyatt and Wilson, if you could come up here, please.
Hi, I'm Kyla Freeman, and I am the Training and Development Coordinator for the city's Department of Human Resources and Civil Service. The department works to create an engaging workplace where employees feel welcome and free to explore their interests. For the PGH Lab pilot, we worked with Green Bean to provide an online platform and a series of workshops for employees to interact, learn more about sustainability, reduce their carbon footprint, and save money on energy bills and upgrades. As a result, we created a community of people that are dedicated to a common purpose of making our city better to live in.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Miller. We're Green Bean, and we power green employee benefits. When we started building Green Bean, we were guided by a commitment to creating scalable climate action, and we found it in green employee benefits, a massive opportunity for employers to lead the charge against climate change. 42% of carbon emissions come from our homes and our vehicles. Green Bean integrates sustainability into the employee experience by attacking the key barriers to individual home and vehicle decarbonization head-on, starting with employees at the City of Pittsburgh.
Hi, I'm Wilson Morse from Green Bean. We reduce the cost of green tech uptake by securing exclusive and meaningful discounts with our partners and facilitate green stipends for home upgrades. Our platform provides specific guidance for each employee's sustainability journey. Paired with workshops, this helps to address the sizable climate knowledge gap and helps employees make the most of their green benefits. All of this is in an effort to make the employee feel recognized and empowered while tangibly reducing their carbon footprint. We envision a world where sustainable living is second nature. Our partnership with the city has allowed us to pilot our concept and gather crucial data about its efficacy. 2023 has been a huge year for Green Bean as we onboarded our first dozen partners, positioning us to continue our growth in Pittsburgh and the Midwest. Check us out at greenbeanperks.com to learn more.
For more information about PGH Lab, go to pittsburghpa.gov, keyword PGH Lab.
Yeah, I just want to start by saying how grateful we are for this opportunity. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Allah. It's really been a wonderful experience just giving us that legitimacy in Pittsburgh has been such a huge cultivating moment for our business, and we're just extremely grateful. I also want to say a huge shout out to Kyla, who couldn't be here today, but she was really, really crucial to everything that we accomplished with the city. So a round of applause for Kyla. It's just so great that the city recognized that their employees really do care about sustainability, not just in the office, but in their own individual lives. And that's what we're all about, is empowering every employee to integrate sustainability into their life and live their values. So thanks so much.
Yeah, we're really guided by an unwavering belief that sustainable living should be easy, but it's really difficult and it's very different from person to person. So the city gave us a really great opportunity to just go, and there's so many faces in this room that I've had the opportunity to just sit down and talk to what sustainable living looks like for them, what those barriers are, and how we can help. So thanks to Allah, thanks to Trevor, everyone who put this together. I wish more cities had programs like this.
I'll speak real quick on Kyla's behalf since she couldn't be here. She did really want to find a path forward for Green Bean in the city as we look to the future here. While we're still in the process of figuring those out, I will just throw a little plug that they're not specifically government oriented. So if there are any companies out there looking to expand their green benefits as well, that'd be awesome.
Thank you, Trevor.
Allah beating me to the punch. Next up, we're going to show you a quick video for AirViz. So Ian, if you could come up here, please.
Hi, my name is Flor Marion, and I am a climate and energy planner for the Department of City Planning's Sustainability and Resilience Division. Pittsburgh is notoriously known to have poor air quality, so we are actively seeking ways to change that narrative. In accordance with our 2030 sustainability goals and in an effort to reduce our own pollutants, we are working towards a full replacement of our city's diesel trucks with a fleet of clean EVs for the Department of Public Works. At the same time, we want to ensure our city staff have a safe working environment. That's where our partnership with AirViz comes in.
Hi, I'm Ian Magazine, CEO of AirViz, and we're partnering with the city on clean air solutions. With over 90% of the U.S. population breathing unhealthy air, accurate and accessible air quality monitoring is crucial to combat health emergencies and climate changes. AirViz is testing at the Department of Public Works warehouse a low-cost, easy-to-use solution for indoor air quality monitoring. We use predictive and prescriptive analytics to show what could happen, where, when, and how to intervene, empowering decision makers to solve problems, not just identify them. In addition to temperature and humidity, we will be monitoring levels of particulate matter, volatile organic compounds, and nitrogen oxide that workers are exposed to on a daily basis. This will provide city leaders with insight to make data-driven decisions, ensuring a safe and healthy working environment for all staff.
At the conclusion of this project, AirViz will present a report overviewing current impact at the facility. They will also provide a new dashboard that will assist us in the deployment of future construction projects, while serving as an educational tool for the staff to better understand the health benefits associated with monitoring air quality. Partnering with AirViz, we can not only collect tangible data as we transition to an EV fleet, but most importantly, improve worker health and safety.
If you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
I love this city. Pittsburgh is, I wasn't born here. I came here, and I've been here now 23 years, and I'm not leaving. And I'm going to do my best to create a lot of jobs here in Pittsburgh. Air quality is a major issue, not only here in Pittsburgh, but globally, and we're starting to get a lot of attention. Air quality is on a lot of people's mind after East Palatine and the wildfires that came in, and the data is not there to actually show and keep people safe. So thank you.
Unfortunately, Fleur couldn't be here today, but I will kind of speak very briefly to the next phase of this project. They are actively looking for ways that they can continue their collaborations into the future, so hopefully more to come.
Very pressure right there. Yes, right there. Thank you.
Trying to follow.
Thank you.
All right. So last but certainly not least, we have Element XO, and we'd like to showcase that video quick. Tim, I'm going to welcome you up here. And Sean, are you in the... Yes. And Sean from the Department of Public Works.
Hi, I'm Sean Weigel, Superintendent of the Bureau of Environmental Services. Our employees work hard to keep our city clean, servicing over 115,000 households every week. It's physically demanding work, and safety of our employees is our top priority. Through PGH Lab, we are working with Element XO to pilot exoskeleton technology to boost employee safety.
I'm Chris Pesic, co-founder of Element XO, a Pittsburgh-based startup that builds exoskeletons to protect people. Across the country, workers sustain over 1 million back injuries every year, leading to loss of income and significant impact to quality of life. Our Back Assist exoskeleton is a wearable device similar to a backpack. It uses a spring to reduce back strain by 1/3 during bending and lifting actions. While it doesn't give you superpowers, it does boost well-being by reducing the risk of back injuries and giving wearers more energy.
We're excited to help them connect with other Pittsburgh staff to discover where version 1 could be successful, while we provide feedback for version 2. Staff safety will always be our top priority, and we will see great value in a partnership like this.
With feedback from our trials, we're developing a new exoskeleton releasing this summer, and we have several future pilots in planning across the country. To learn more, visit elementxo.com.
If you're interested in learning more about the PGH Lab program or joining a cohort, check out our PGH Lab website.
So just wanted to say thank you again to PGH Labs, the City of Pittsburgh, for helping put all of this together and get these teams really out there and kind of in the community. And as you heard during the video, the feedback that we received on the exoskeleton from Sean and his team was really instrumental in putting together our new Gen 2 exoskeleton that we're going to be commercially releasing next week. So we're really excited about the ability to work with the city and get that feedback in there to make a device that can really take the load off of the women and men who are doing these hard jobs for us. So thank you.
Again, I just want to thank everybody with the lab. I think it's a great opportunity for the city and all our businesses. Certainly we've enjoyed the process. Anything where we can focus on worker safety is a win-win for us, certainly. So thank you again.
Thank you. So, thank you. Great.
All right, thank you. I would be remiss to not take a moment to say, can we give a round of applause for the team that actually put these videos together? So you got Heather behind that camera, Bill behind that camera. Dave and Alex are not here. Mayor, thank you so much for coming. Yeah. The party's not over, but we're going to keep going. If you guys want to take 5 minutes, we're going to transition to our panel. So panelists, please come up to the front of the room. Everyone else, we've been sitting for a while. Get up, get some drinks. Thank you, Mixology, for being here. Hit them up, get some food, and we'll call you guys back in a sec. Okay, so now I am very excited to hand things over to Anya Ailman, who actually founded the PGH Lab program. It's a pretty cool moment for me. I'm really excited. She's going to be moderating this panel, and so I'm going to hand it right over. Thank you, Anya. Tell us what you're currently doing. I didn't do a good job of telling people that.
No worries. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? You have food, you have drinks, everything good? All right, awesome. So before I get started, first of all, I want to say thank you to the City of Pittsburgh, the Department of Innovation and Performance, and all of the city staff and everybody here for being here. This is a great gathering of many people from many industries, businesses, service providers, city staff. So before we get started, I really want to pose a challenge to you. Do not leave today's program without meeting someone new. Especially if you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you never know where the next customer is going to come. So please, please make connections. Collaboration is what we want to aim for and do here in Pittsburgh, and we're going to talk about that today. So that's my challenge to you. I will be asking some people afterwards, okay? And I'll quiz you. All right, so my name is Anya Aleman, Innovation Director at Ascender. Ascender is an innovation hub located in East Liberty. We help entrepreneurs from all stages. From early stage, you have an idea, up to revenue generating. You want to keep on climbing and figure out how you can exit or how you can expand. So we do it all. Connect with me if you want to learn about Ascender later. But I'm really excited about today's panel. We have great folks here and many who are friends and just like amazing people here together. So I am going to let our panelists introduce themselves. What do you do for work? And tell us a little bit more about what is your opinion when it comes to government innovation, entrepreneurship, and businesses. What are some trends that you've seen either locally or, with your work or nationally? So we're gonna start with Lauren.
Thanks, Sonia. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Connolly. I'm the Vice President of Local Government Affairs and Advocacy with the Allegheny Conference. So the Allegheny Conference serves as a convener and catalyst to create a more globally competitive 10-county region. So we work in the 10 counties of southwestern Pennsylvania, and really to develop and partner on strategies to increase the overall quality of life in the region. So my role specifically with the conference is working with local governments, including the city of Pittsburgh, and county level governments throughout that 10-county region. And as part of that work, it's identifying and working with them to understand what their priorities are and how we can advocate for that at the state and federal levels, but also how we can advocate for more pro-business policy within local governments themselves. So some things that I think I'm seeing as trends, which is promising, and I think as someone who's worked in local government and city and county government and from this region, is that conversations have sort of shifted. And I think the PGH Labs program is an example of that, where maybe there was a mantra back in the day of, well, because we've always done things this way, right? And I feel like the conversation has shifted to understanding and government's really embracing innovation to think about new ways of doing things. And some of that may have been, sparked with the pandemic and just shifts in the overall world. But that's been really exciting to see. And then I think another thing is just resource allocation. We work a lot with federal government, and a lot of resources are now being allocated in a place-based, focused way, which is, we'll probably talk about projects we're all collaborating on, but it's really fostering a lot of innovation and thinking more comprehensively around regions and how we can collaborate and how we can connect innovation with the existing needs of communities. So that's been really, really exciting to see. Okay, pass it on to Juan.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here, and I congratulate all the PGH Lab graduates tonight and the alumni that might be also in the room as well. But my name is Juan Garrett. I'm the Executive Director of Riverside Center for Innovation, and just like Anya, we are a small business incubator located here on the North Shore, and we work with entrepreneurs of color, women, disadvantaged entrepreneurs defined by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, veterans as well, and rural communities. Our goal is really to help you get to stay based. I believe it was Ian said that he was here for 23 years and he's not leaving the region. We need more people like Ian to be on the forefront. So whoever is out here doing marketing, get Ian to speak about what's happening here in Pittsburgh. Makes our job easier as entrepreneur support organizations and how we partner with everybody here on this panel. But some of the things that I do want to say is as entrepreneurs, I know a lot of times you all are looking for seed dollars and things like that as well. Sometimes you got to think a little bit outside the box. Some of the challenges that we have is that when you get these private equity investors, sometimes you have to go through a much difficult way to get those funds when it's a lot easier to get smaller dollars from alternative funding sources, such as the Neighborhood Community Development Fund, programs that are offered through the county and through the city, through the Urban Redevelopment Authority. Those are opportunities that are out there. So be careful, because when it's time for us to help you scale and connect you to contracts, if you have too many owners and nobody wants to sign up, we can't help your companies grow. And as part of that as well, I'm also the current board chair of the MWDBE Governmental Committee, which is 21 plus government agencies, which are locally here, that from the city to the county to the state and to some of the federal agencies. And so we're always looking for you to be able to connect you with those potential contracts. I know you're starting here with PGH Labs, but how do you take this and go countywide, citywide, and then become federal and connecting you to those resources? So I'll stop there because I'm sure we'll have some other questions and things like that. So I'll pass it to Kurt.
There's no questions left on. Hi, I'm Kurt Petula. I'm the Chief Strategy Operations Officer at Innovation Works. Innovation Works is the Ben Franklin Technology Partner for Southwestern Pennsylvania. We invest in the people and businesses that drive innovation in order to propel economic growth in Southwestern Pennsylvania. So similar to the conference, we cover the counties in the surrounding region. We have a range of programming, including focused on sectors ranging from life sciences to hardware to robotics and software, as well as supporting social innovation programs, education programs centered around entrepreneurship. And we invest. We have several investment vehicles for investing in early stage companies. And our role from that point of view is really to we're oftentimes the first institutional investor in, where a company is still not quite at the point where some of the private funding is ready to get on board. And that's the role that we play among the partners.
I'm going to do this as best I can. I'm a hand talker, so this is going to be difficult. My name is Lindsay Powell, use she, her pronouns, and I am the Director of Workforce Strategies at Innovate PGH. Innovate PGH is a smaller not-for-profit, but we see ourselves as the guardian of the Innovation District, which is soundly located between the 5th and 4th corridor in the Oakland neighborhood. And so an Innovation District, for those who are not aware, is really kind of the convergence of technology, real estate, and business. For some cities it happens naturally. Luckily for Pittsburgh, we see our fine academic institutions, healthcare systems, and some of the greatest talent in the world kind of all being circled around this kind of one neighborhood in Pittsburgh, but also in other cities it kind of happens where cities will invest in business or technology to be located in certain places. I say that to say Pittsburgh's Innovation District is very unique. There are very few cities where you have the premier universities next to billions of dollars of research, next to spaces where these entrepreneurs and innovators are all connecting. And so we're really, really proud in Pittsburgh that we have such unique and naturally occurring innovation districts. So what do we do? Half of our portfolio is very hyper-focused on Oakland. So we work to make sure that folks who are working in Oakland want to stay in Oakland, close to universities, close to where a lot of the research that I mentioned is happening. Innovate PGH additionally offers co-working space across the uptown and Oakland neighborhoods that are accessible to entrepreneurs. So after this, if you're looking for spaces, we'd love to see you in Oakland. But our other half of the portfolio that I do really want to dig into today is thinking about how we can ensure that innovation is at the top of people's mind when it comes to state and federal dollars, that we're advocating for more inclusive technology as well as more inclusive workforce opportunities, and thinking about how we can do a better job regionally of connecting entrepreneurs to capital, entrepreneurs to opportunities, and ensuring that Pittsburgh is at the top of people's mind when it comes to innovative cities. All together, our team works, again, both thinking about Oakland, thinking about the region, and we have the, I think, unique honor to be able to work with all of the partners seated at the table on smaller projects, but as well as major projects like the Build Back Better project that I'm sure we will be talking about at some point.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kyle Chintalopoli. I serve as the city's Chief Economic Development Officer. In terms of describing my work, well, you got to run out on what the city does earlier, so I don't need to do that. But my work specifically, a lot of the departments that you saw partner with companies through the lab. I have the good fortune of working closely with Department of City Planning, Department of Permits, License, Inspections, also with our Urban Redevelopment Authority, Housing Authority, City of Pittsburgh, and a number of our other authorities kind of are my day-to-day. And then on occasion, I get to do cool things like this, or Trevor and Layla sort of indulge me with wanting to see what my thoughts are as we think about what PGH becomes. So Anya's sort of, I guess, prompt for all of us in the role that government can play. I mean, I think there's one evidence of what we saw tonight, and we're having conversations internally, and really to the credit and leadership that Layla and Trevor have taken, is asking questions about what PGH Lab can become next. We've done this 8 times now. We've learned a lot. How can we improve it? What does it look like, moving forward, and in ways that we can be better, certainly for the companies as well as for the city. And so we're really excited about that, and would love to hear more of folks' thoughts related to it. I know at an event I asked Dylan that kind of surprised him, about a month or so ago. He looked startled, and I'm like, well, this is why, and explains it. But the other thing I would say, and Lindsay and I also sit on the board of the Urban Redevelopment Authority, and in another way, the role that government can play, and to some degree Innovation Works plays this too, as one of the Ben Franklin technology partners through the state, is fill in gaps that the private market is not. And in particular, when we're talking about making innovation more inclusive and supporting our under-resourced, which so often means diverse founders, it is in that access to funding at those early stages. And I think that is something that you see certainly Innovation Works playing. It's something that we've tried to do with the URA, and that is whether it's technology-based business or more broadly, and work that we have the pleasure of seeing unfold at least once a month at our board meetings. So thank you. Guess I got to pass this back down on my end.
Thank you so much.
Rotate.
You all keep going. Thank you. Thank you so much. As you can see here with our panelists, if you are thinking about starting a business or have a business and want to grow, these are the people that you need to be connected with. So make sure that you leave time for that. But Kyle, I actually want to make sure that we can keep you there a little bit longer. So definitely PGH Lab is a flagship program between, early partnerships between the public and private partnerships. And also, initiatives from the URA in regards to funding. But I'm curious to hear more about sort of like in your role as a Chief Economic Development Officer, sort of like where are we right now in regards to like, how are we going to bring together all of the innovators and really meet them where they are, and then sort of like what can we expect next, from the city, sort of like in addition to PGH Lab, which by the way, there are only a handful of cities in the U.S. that have a program like this, so we are one of those unique cities. that have a program, like this lab.
Yeah, I alluded to it in sort of my opening remarks. And those are the conversations that we're having right now, right? To your point, and then to my earlier comment, like what is the gap that we need to fill, right? PGH Lab, in the way that it functions at the moment, is really more, and was originally envisioned to be, the proving ground, right? And there's a role for that, there's utility in that, there's an importance in that. I think, what we've learned, and I don't want to speak, for Trevor or Ayla, so they can yell at me if I'm going to misrepresent any of this, but, some of what we've learned is really, if we kind of think about all of the comments and feedback that we've received and their observations and insights in the previous cohorts, at least those they've been a part of, and I'm assuming they probably talked to you at some point too about the ones that you were, is making us think about ways that can function more closely to a true first customer program beyond just sort of a proving ground. What does that look like, right? And then how can it potentially grow into something else? And I think that would be a maturation. We don't fully know what that looks like yet. Those are the conversations that we're having right now. But we feel that is an opportunity and a gap in the marketplace, if you will, that we could potentially fill, and then hopefully create a construct and a platform that private industry and others could plug into or adopt, or just completely copy. That would be fine too. But if we think it's something that would be good broadly for the ecosystem, I know from my time in between stints at the city, it's something that I heard from startups that are active here, tech-based or non-tech-based, and we do think, and that's something that our team's working on in ways that we can think about how to address that.
Thank you so much, Kyle. That's awesome. It's exciting to hear that. And so I want to elaborate a little bit more. Right now we're talking about local governments, but I'm curious to hear about sort of like what is the state doing maybe, and I know through your work, Lauren, with advocacy and regional economic development, I'm curious to hear if you have specific examples of innovative initiatives at the state level that are helping entrepreneurs, and if not, what can be some opportunities for this?
Sure, thank you. So yeah, at the state level, I think we're excited. I would actually be remiss. James Myers is here, who's my colleague. We work in lockstep, the policy team with our business investment team. So I have colleagues that are working really closely with startups and entrepreneurs and businesses, and they're helping to inform, what are we advocating for at the local, state, and federal level. So some things at the state, I think with the new administration, they've made it clear that it's sort of a new day and a new way of doing business. And a few of the challenges that we've heard from startups, entrepreneurs, new businesses, just the processes around permitting and licensure and certifications is somewhat fragmented, and it can be really hard to navigate when you're already overextended and trying to start your business. And so I think the assessment, the governor creating the new Office of Transformation and Opportunity within the first few days of being in office, and then charging that office with really doing an assessment of what permits, what licenses, what certifications do each of the offices actually review and approve, and in what ways, and what do those timelines look like, so that they can apply innovation themselves and thinking about, what could be automated, what could be expedited, what could be communicated in a more innovative and efficient manner. So we're excited to see where that goes for sure, because that's been something that's been flagged as a challenge for a lot of small businesses. Additionally, just access to capital, of course, and I think we're all excited actually that there's an opportunity for a restructuring of what DCED really looks like. And we've heard the new Department of Community and Economic Development Secretary talk about, they're gonna take a step back and put together a plan, and this will be the first time in a number of years that they're doing so, to think about what tools, what funds, what resources do they offer. And right now they have, I think that it was like 190 programs, right? And they're all at a very small scale, and they all have different requirements and rules, but how can they create pools of funds that are fast, flexible funding for businesses that need to move fast and that need to be flexible? And so we're very engaged in those conversations around what the restructuring of DCED looks like, and specifically around the innovation economy. So some of those programs were created and guidelines developed for industries of the past and of the states past and regions past, or those industries have now since evolved in a number of ways. And so those programs need to be rethought and retooled. And so we're really excited about that. I guess one last piece is just, we've been pushing for years and still pushing, and it is of, I think, specific interest to startup companies specifically, is increasing the cap on net operating loss carry forward. So when you're a startup, you're operating with losses sometimes in those first few years. And Pennsylvania is only one of 2 states that has that capped at 40%. And so the idea of increasing that cap to 80% to reduce tax liability of startup companies could be could bring some benefit to businesses. I could keep going, but I'll stop there because my colleagues are all really interesting in doing fascinating work.
By the way, everybody, there will be time for audience Q&A, so make sure that you have some questions ready. And I was thinking what you were saying, Lauren, maybe the state will be the next PGH Lab partner, and then open up more opportunities.
Let's make that ask. Yeah, I'll work on that with you.
Sounds good. But I want to hear now a little bit more about maybe some leadership from the private sector. Maybe, Kirk, you work at Innovation Works, and Innovation Works has different programs in regards to corporate innovation and things like that. Who are some leaders out there in the private sector that, have helped, or in what ways they have helped startups and businesses here in the city that you know?
Yeah, so that's a great question. There are a lot of great organizations, both private and nonprofit organizations, in addition, of course, that government, as we've seen with this program, is doing great work. And I think we at Innovation Works, we've had a number of partnerships where things became possible that wouldn't have otherwise because of those partnerships. I mean, we'll talk about, I'm sure, Build Back Better at some point, which is a fantastic illustration of public-private partnership at a huge scale. And at a smaller level, our Alpha Lab Health accelerators through a partnership with Allegheny Health Network that gives life sciences entrepreneurs access to the clinicians within AHN that they would not have otherwise. Industrial Scientific collaborated with us on starting Alpha Lab Gear, which is our hardware accelerator. We have partnerships with the manufacturers in the outlying counties related to scale grants, where we connect entrepreneurs to local manufacturers so they can begin production locally and strengthen the economy of the region. So there, and even we'll oftentimes connect entrepreneurs with private investors, right, where a lot of that access to capital can come from. So we see a lot of powerful collaboration from the private sector. It would be great to see more. Mm-hmm. And I think there's an opportunity. What you see the city doing here is doing something really unusual, functioning as an early adopter, right? And that's really unusual to see that happen in a city government. But that's what entrepreneurs need. They need a customer, right, with a problem. And like the most value that you can provide to an entrepreneur is a well-curated problem, right? Something that is a big problem that people are willing to pay to solve and that more than one person has, right? And you put those things together and you can make a business. And I think that, so we see the city modeling this, and I think if we can, and I'd say all the big corporates here have their own R&D or innovation programs in place, whether it's UPMC or PNC, everybody has interesting innovation projects. It'd be terrific to promote more active engagement from those good programs that are happening with the local ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Kirk. If anybody else wants to weigh in with any other examples of solid public-private partnerships, feel free to share okay, no, we can go back to it. Sounds good. So actually, we are
passing the mic.
I can try this one too. Try all
No, that's not a mic.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
Lindsay and I used to be colleagues, so it's nice to hear you. So Lindsay, you work within local government at the city of Pittsburgh at the federal level. Now you're working, in the innovation ecosystem, nonprofit sector. So, you have a lot of knowledge and a lot of access to many of these ecosystems. So I'm curious to hear a little bit more about how Innovate PGH, how in your role you are, can you share examples about how specific examples about how the organization is helping local entrepreneurs and that combination between helping entrepreneurs and also access to talent and talent growth?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Innovate PGH, we think of ourselves very much as small and nimble, and what we do with our constituents, which we consider community members, entrepreneurs, startups, are try to solve problems that they can't solve on their own, whether it's a capacity issue or a funding issue, a specific kind of answer to one of those kind of very maybe a little niche startup issues that startups have are hiring. So for a lot of startups, you've got an idea, you've got a team of 2 or 3, but you need to expand. Typically, if you were in a larger company, you'd have an HR department, or you could outsource that work, but obviously that's capacity, that's funding, that's time often that startups and founders don't have. And so what we do is try to come up with innovative solutions. So in particular with that issue, we actually just concluded a pilot program we called Talent Trust. And so we had entrepreneurs basically sign up saying that they were looking to expand, they needed help with their HR, and they wanted to get mid to senior level talent and diverse candidates to be a part of their startups, but obviously they could not do that work themselves. And so what we did was pull together entrepreneurs that were looking for talent with similar kind of backgrounds and do that HR work for them. So that's one of the ways that we're able to step in and provide capacity, provide programming where on their own entrepreneurs may not do that or may not have the ability to do that for themselves.
Thank you. And who has access to programs like that? Everybody, is it Pittsburgh based only? Or?
Everybody, come on down. Come on down to Oakland. So yeah, exactly, and stay. We don't have a lot of criteria to be a part of the Innovate PGH network. It's truly, is there something that we can help you with? Are there issues that you're having? Let's see if we can kind of collectively and collaboratively figure out either if it's not us, how to get you to the right people. So we see ourselves kind of as the concierge in Oakland, but really focused on ensuring that startups and founders and entrepreneurs have resources. Sometimes it's also just creating spaces where folks can be together. And we see that oftentimes when you have these spaces where it's not programs, throwing a little bit of wine, everybody can get together and ensure that they're sharing the knowledge that they have. We've seen even partnerships come through between some of the spaces that we've created where they've gone off and started their own companies. So we believe very deeply in stepping in where we can, being a concierge where applicable, but also allowing entrepreneurs, startups, and our constituents tell us what they need and going out and do that for them.
Thank you so much. And well, I have a follow-up question for you. So let's talk about the Build Back Better plan now. So Innovate PGH is one of the 5 recipients of the Build Back Better Plan Challenge Award. As a reminder, everybody, Southwestern Pennsylvania won $62.7 million from the federal government via a grant application to fund 5 different programs and collaboratives. So can you tell us a little bit more about Innovate PGH program?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll say I can start, but I feel like this is a song that's better done in chorus. So if there are other folks on the panel that want to jump in and talk about Build Back Better, please do. But as Anya said, it was a truly collaborative effort between several municipalities across the region, the conference, and lots of other stakeholders to bring back almost $63 million to Southwestern PA to fund, expand, and create a more inclusive tech economy, really focused on automation, robotics, and AI. For our project, we actually have one of the highest dollar amounts in comparison to the other 21 finalists. So it's something that I think regionally we should be really proud of, but also really dogged about making sure that we are meeting our standards, that we are making sure that we're accomplishing what we set out to do. And so I'm very proud to have all of the folks at the table and several people in the audience working to make sure that we are meeting the mission and goals of this critical project. I can speak to Project 5, which is expanding pathways to entrepreneurship, which Innovate PGH is leading. We're the project lead, and we have wonderful partners, including RCI, Women in Tech PGH, as well as the Equity Impact Center. But what our project aims to do with the about $6 to $7 million we've been allocated is to ensure that there are spaces for underrepresented entrepreneurs to flourish and thrive in our innovation economy. Making it even more complicated, out of the 5 projects, we bifurcated our project into 2. And so half of our project is looking at how do we make sure that small businesses, in particular your MWBE firms, your veteran-owned firms, as well as firms that are outside of Allegheny County, are able to access contracts and business with some of our tech firms, in particular those in robotics and AI. So even if they aren't a technology-facing firm themselves, so think your caterers, think your accountants, how do we make sure that they're also benefiting from the investment regionally that we're making in tech and innovation? Also thinking about those tech businesses those businesses that do have a tech bent, are we able to get them into the supply chain of some of those robotics and AI firms? And that one is called Teammates, Talent and Market Access for Entrepreneurs, and Juan can definitely speak as one of the creators of the program and technicians of the program, can speak more eloquently than I on the goals and aims of that program. On the other side of Project 5, which I'm really excited to talk to this group about, is the Peer Fellowship. It's promoting emerging entrepreneurs in robotics. And so the idea there is for our underrepresented, under-resourced technologists, how do we make sure that you are in the rooms, have the access to spaces and capital to ensure that your business flourishes. The program is a academic year-long fellowship at CMU, where you're taking classes pass-fail. So don't worry about your grades. But you're taking pass-fail classes so that you have access to some of the premier learnings and teachers that are talking about and speaking about robotics and automation. But also you have the leisure time to work on your startup. In particular, for underrepresented technologists, we know that when we speak to the folks at Innovate PGH, and I'm sure some of the folks you all engage with, it's, I've got a full-time job and a family and this, and I'm trying to make the startup work on the side with the 30 minutes a day that I have. We created this program so that you have the leisure time and support. It's a free program and it's stipended, but you have the free time, leisure time, and support to do that. And so we tried to create a program, and this will be the first year that it's launching, and we're actively taking applications, so we'd love to see several of you apply. But the program blends the academic experience as well with mentorship and internship experiences as well, so you're getting some hands-on training, you're getting that leisure time, but also you're getting access to premier professors and mentors at Carnegie Mellon as well as other academic institutions. But we're really excited about it. Again, applications are open, and I'm happy to talk more about that.
When's the deadline?
The deadline, it's a rolling deadline, so seriously, give us an application whatever, but the classes start end of August 28th. So, coming up.
Thank you so much, Nancy. But I want to make sure that everybody else gets to weigh in regards to, like, what does the Build Back Better plan and all of these new initiatives mean for our city, for our region? Juan, Kirk, I know you all are also involved. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role in it and what can we expect?
Sure. Thank you. And I'm under the sleeve of the Project 5 with Lindsay as well. So it's part of our role is really how do we grow disadvantaged entrepreneurs, underutilized entrepreneurs into the sector the robotics, and also AI. So for some of you who are starting your business, we have some great local minority entrepreneurs that you should reach out to locally. You don't have to go national or go on Google. We're designing and creating a directory locally. So we want to hear from you all. What are those challenges that you have? Some of the folks that we talked to, Henry Thorne, some of you may have known, he started Athon, he started Four Moms, and he's doing some other things. He started off in our incubator, so he's been a great resource partner for us. From small hardware stores where he needed a screw when he was building this, if he could find somebody that can do that for him, he didn't have to waste time or anything. So we're putting those directories. So we want to know some of the supply chain issues you may have, and let us find them in our database. And we're going to put in a directory and a database to hand off to you all so that you can use it to stimulate this whole local economy that we have here as well. Some of the other things that we talked about as well as twofold. I'm actually on the board of the Build Better Back. So as a board member, some of the things we're talking about is we're always reaching out when nothing that Kirk said, but when we're talking about Allegheny Health Network. What about med expresses? What about doctors' offices to get to the clinicians there who see that? You're going to have maybe a better chance to meet the small mid-manufacturing firms than we are trying to get you in with Caterpillar and UPS, those folks. How can we help you get into smaller things? How do we take these technologies and match you up? For instance, I think it was Dr. Lori, I believe Pittsburgh Drone Services. Can you pivot your business? We are putting in separating sewer and storm water. How do we get these drones to work underground in sewer line systems right now? It's a $4 to $6 billion project. So how do we come to you all, maybe even help you think slightly a little bit outside of the technology you have, as Kirk and I think Kyle and Lindsay and them all, everyone is saying here, how do we help you solve a solution? Sometimes these solutions are right here, right in front of you, but we're looking so big. But you have the idea in the tech spaces that I don't know how to do, but I can connect you with somebody else that you can talk to and say, hey, this can work for me. And can you imagine how many other sewer and water line systems that can do instead of doing, for the city? But I will say this, I did pick that up when you said something about bridges. I got a problem with bridges collapsing, so that is also a great thing, is making an inspection and making it tied directly to that specific industry sector is just bridges and making it. There's what the city has, I forget how many bridges here, but lots, right. But there's bridges everywhere and overpasses. So how can you reach out to all of us? Let us hear what your challenges are and let us help you solve what those challenges are as well. We have workforce. We know workforce is a huge component as well. How do we help you get the talent? And what are you looking for to put into that talent? You should come back to us so we can then go back and say, no, we need this type of individual to help us recruit to this region and get involved in the Teammates Project 5, the internship program, which is going to be a great program as well. So
thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, Kirk, your innovation work is another recipient of one of the second project of 5. Can you tell us a little bit more briefly about, what is your project about?
Sure, no, I'd be happy to. I don't know whether Lauren should go first to give a little umbrella context from the view of the conference on Build Back Better. Do you want to kind of give the 10,000-foot view on before we drill in?
Yeah, so the Build Back Better Regional Challenge, this was a federal grant opportunity, and the conference, we are not a direct service provider, but a convener, and so we convened these partners here and others to put together a plan, and I think there were 530 maybe applications that were submitted, and this region was chosen, and it's really, enhancing the robotics and automation cluster here within the region, and it's not just in the city of Pittsburgh, but regionally, and thinking about how we can connect the people in neighboring counties, how we can upscale, how we can make sure that this is a sector that will bring benefit to all, really. And I should give my colleagues here a shout out, because not only was the project chosen, but a report, I think it was Brookings, I'm not positive, but that took a look at all of the projects. They lifted this one up as one of the ones that have it was lauded for its equitable and inclusive, really the prioritization that's being given to that because of their work and the thoughtfulness behind making sure that, the community benefits as part of this project are real and are tangible, and that people's lives are really going to be changed as part of it. And that's because of the work that they're doing and the plan that they put forward. So.
Great, thanks. So in the context of that, there are 5 main projects. One is really focused on helping manufacturers and firms modernize their industrialization, right? Adopt new technologies. One's focused on workforce development. One is focused on maker spaces, putting maker spaces in the outer counties and connecting it to a shop here in the city to kind of make this kind of equipment accessible to everyone. One is focused, our project is called the Robotics Factory, which I'll talk about, and then the 5th is focused on inclusion and making sure that we're able to bring everybody into a part of the innovation economy. I think is that right? So IW is responsible for the Robotics Factory, and what that is it's 3 initiatives that we call Create, Accelerate, and Scale. And Create is really acting catalytically for the ideation to kind of early instantiation. I call it pre-launch companies. And we did a project in April where we convened the aviation industry with the robotics industry and had a human-centered design experience to try to curate good problems, which is try to curate good problems to be solved. That is going to be followed on by with additional learnings we took from that to do additional programming, essentially all focused on that ideation to initial instantiation. That's the scope of Create. Accelerate is, you can think of it as a classical accelerator. It's sort of the launch stage equipping of companies with a heavy focus on the pragmatics of business. And it's just one of the challenges that robotics faces is it can really go deep technical, right? But to grow a business, you have to go deep commercial, right? And so it's an accelerator there to really help the early stage companies strengthen their product market fit, and I'd say get ready for investment. The 3rd program is we call Scale, and that is providing a shop that's available to do industrial-ready prototyping, designed for manufacturability. Oftentimes, with hardware development, you can start with 3D printing, but there are a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems to solve in going from like 5 pieces to 5,000, right? And that's really the focus of the Scale program. And I also want to share something that Kevin Dowling, who's leading the initiative at IW, said when people talk about robots, they oftentimes think, I should say we just launched our first cohort of for the Accelerate program. We have some super cool companies in there, for example, like Aquatonomy, that's doing underwater drones to inspect oil rigs or the what's the bottom part of this boat called? The bottom part. And my Navy years are showing it. Doing these super cool things, but a robot is really any system that senses, perceives, and acts. And so at the simplest level, even your thermostat is a robot, right? Because it's sensing the temperature, it's perceiving that it's out of where it should be, and then it's acting. So the scope of the impact to the economy is very broad, right? It's very broad. And so that's the
Yeah, thank you so much. And I have one more question for our panelists before we move on to audience questions. So Juan, and inclusive innovation, equity was touched as one of the city's major goals to make sure that our city becomes equitable. Juan, you have years of experience, and just like I've known you for like several years now, and Riverside Center for Innovation works with majority diverse entrepreneurs, many who are underserved entrepreneurs. What's working in Pittsburgh? I want to hear specific examples and what can we do better.
You're right. I think nowadays has been a shift. Someone said that, might have been you, Lauren. We are starting to do a lot more collaboration with everybody. We need to stop working in silos. And the more that we have these types of panels, the more we can bring these types of federal dollars in. And I think it was Lindsay and Kirk said as well, and maybe Lauren. I worked on that application as well in a very short period of time to be able to put this thing together and make how it's intertwined. And that showed. Now I'm sitting at the table with CMU. I'm sitting at the table with Penn State, sitting at the table with Harvard Business Schools. We've never been able to do that for disadvantaged entrepreneurs. So we are breaking down these silos here, and I got to do a big credit to also to the administration as well. You got a great administration team, as some of you have been. You're working with all the city departments. This is the first, and we want to keep that momentum going right there. So there are still some challenges, and we know access to capital to everybody, but talent. But as women entrepreneurs, we got to understand, how do we get more women in? We got to be able to go back to legislation and talk about daycare services and work balance. And again, how do we help you address those types of things? How do we get transportation into these communities? And again, when we're looking at the outlying communities, don't think of everything here in Allegheny County. Look at what's happening in the farming counties. Agriculture is big with that needs this technology. Also mining in some of these. So when we talk about, these are industry sectors that can utilize these robotic technologies that isn't what you don't see here in Allegheny County, but in Westmoreland County is 10 minutes and 15 minutes away, which agriculture is really big. And how can you help solve these issues with farmers and things like that? So we need to be able to make sure that we educate and stop working in silos and breaking those silos down.
Anybody else has a comment before I move to the audience? Okay. Do we have questions from the audience? Everything's very clear. Yes, we have one. Well,
There's
yes.
One of the issues that we have in the city, of course, is to try to reduce violence and this issue between teenagers and what have you. So my question is, what type of collaboration do we have with the Pittsburgh Public Schools or the Kings Rock Schools or the Kingsport Schools to try to start to develop the curriculums that the kids would need to go into these jobs? Not as engineers, but even Bell Labs has to have a janitor who knows exactly what types of things have to be cleaned and how to service a robot. So I think that there's an opportunity to provide jobs, but we have to provide the curriculum. Are we working with Pittsburgh Public Schools to do that?
Who would like to take that one?
Sure. So I would say there are a lot of initiatives related to that. I could just speaking from IW, we have a program called the Startable program. We literally go into the city schools and teach kids entrepreneurship skills. And because there are kids there who, independent of the curriculum, and we give them a terrific curriculum, but they need to see what's possible, right? And it's really the opportunity to open their imagination, give them the skills, and build some relationships with people where they can see that that they can create their own opportunities. So that's just one example. I'm sure there's other terrific things.
I could also talk really quickly about Project 3 in Volcano. We kind of touched on it, but I do think it's really special. It's the biggest amount of money that any of the projects have. It's about $25 billion, and it's all about upskilling. It's all about investing in young people. It's all about investing in the out-of-time space, in the K-12 space, ensuring that while we're doing this stuff through, project 1 through 5, where we're talking mostly about 18 older, opportunity youth, even 18 to 24, they are focused solely on 18 and under, and really investing in the infrastructure that those young people need to explore jobs and careers in tech. And to your point, something that I think is becoming abundantly clear, not just to the folks at the table, but the folks that are thinking about how to invest in tech workforce, is you don't need a secondary degree, you don't need a college degree to get into tech. There are several people that come through our doors at Innovate PGH that are in our communities, that are our collective constituents, that are wildly successful without a secondary degree, without a fancy degree, and are able to be technicians and roboticists and all the things that you mentioned without kind of the traditional path of becoming a technologist. So that is absolutely a priority of Build Back Better, and I think something regionally we're getting better at, because it's, I think, been, again, 18 plus, we're thinking about, college additional programming, but not thinking about how we invest in young people and in STEAM and STEM education.
Thanks for the question, Glenn. I just to build off of Lindsay's comments, and I think when we think about kind of workforce initiatives, and certainly the conversations that we have with companies, when they're contemplating locating here, right? There's what can we do for our existing residents that are on or underemployed, and to make opportunities for them that are accessible. So to your example, right? Like there's highly specialized technical cleaning jobs, right? So how can you get somebody in the door, or ideally before you open your doors, right? To have that open, so when you do open the doors, they know that those jobs are there and accessible to them. But what can we do to attract talent or retain talent, right? And we touched on that a bit more in the conference. We're working on that constantly. We were lucky to keep you for 23 years. Lindsay's transplant, I'm a transplant, right? So we've been here, for a number of years ourselves. And then there's exactly what you said, Glenn, is what are the investments we're making today so that our kids that are in schools now can see themselves in those jobs. An important piece of that, though, really, and I think it's reflected in certainly the founders that we saw today, the spirit of the program, and certainly what you're hearing in the work that Lindsay, Kurt, Juan, and the whole team on Build Back Better are looking to do as well, is about representation, right? And where folks that are historically don't see themselves or people that look like them in these jobs are able to do that, and then when they're in these schools and those programs are accessible to them, I believe it'll lead, into an opportunity where, they can be successful. So.
One more question? One question from the audience?
I have a question, and I think that was an excellent question that you posed about the curriculum in schools and making sure that the kids have access to tech. And I think you put out some very excellent ideas, because that's one of the things that my company started out with, is we saw a need in the unmanned aviation in general. There was an underrepresentation. And we started out with that mission, and where we started is we went into the schools and we saw what was going on. And we went to solve, we're still working on that problem. We're learning and we're growing from the things we're learning, but what's happening now is the need is growing, but we need, as a small entrepreneur, we need the help to get it, but it's there. And we know it's gonna work, we just need the help behind it.
Thank you so much. All right, and before we go now, I want to hear from all of you, what is one key takeaway you want our audience members here, entrepreneurs, the PGH Lab grads, to walk away with? How do they connect with you? What is something that you want them to learn from you today? Like, just very briefly though. Who wants to start?
Start this way.
Let's do it. Thank you.
That's what the QR code's for, right?
Yes.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, or order a chicken sandwich. There you go. So yeah, use that. I said it in my opening comments. Especially for those that are alumni, those that went through the program, through this cohort, really do want your feedback. We have an opportunity now with work that Trevor and Anna have done, and they've really called into question some important things for the evaluation of where we go forward. And we will go forward. We are going to improve upon the program, and I don't want to sort of leave any confusion around that point. But, you know, how we go forward and the way in which we improve it, we really need to understand from those of you who went through it. So please reach out, you know, either through them or through the QR codes and let us know that, so that we can, you know, make this better. And then when we're here, probably a little later next year, but next year, you know, we'll be able to talk and reflect on those improvements that we've made. So thank you.
Thank you, Ty.
Please connect with me on the fellowship, Innovate PGH, co-working space, whatever you need. But I do think that if I could leave a final thought, Pittsburgh is truly an innovative city. And I think it can be a little cheesy when you talk about Pittsburgh's history, but going back to even, you know, when we were the capital of steel and being innovative in that way and building America and really leading the way out of big cities to like create what was next, creating skyscrapers. And then we've taken this kind of hard pivot and been the home of automation and robotics, and innovation is happening here. We're small but scrappy, and I hope that all of you continue to kind of keep that fire lit within you and take that innovative spirit and want to use it to continue to make Pittsburgh an even better city than it is.
So I want to say thank you for what you're doing, and I want you to remember that every family that can put bread on its table, and every school, and every library, and every church, mosque, or synagogue, and every museum, and every arts organization, and every university, and every government, and every aid organization exists, sustains itself, because there are entrepreneurs out there creating a little gap between what it costs them to run their business and in the revenue. And that is the light that makes life possible everywhere. So it's, when we talk about economic development, it really boils down to encouraging and acting catalytically to support you all, because if you're successful, it's going to raise up the whole community. So thank you.
And thank you to everybody as well. Tori's here from our office as well, so if you want to reach out to us, Tori, just raise your hand. We are working on the Project 5 and some of the other things as well that we need to. But definitely, it's hard to be an entrepreneur out here. I know you don't sleep, or maybe you wake up in the middle of the night like I do, and those types of things. So I just want to keep you strong and encouraged. Stay here in Pittsburgh, spread the word about Pittsburgh, so we can bring these other resources here to help you grow. No need in going to any of these outlying cities that we don't want to, but how do we bring those resources here in Pittsburgh? So.
Thanks, Juan. Yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here, and then thank you to all of my fellow panelists for all of the work that they're doing on the ground, day in and day out, around all of this work. And I think please reach out to us, especially if you're a startup or an entrepreneur and you've faced barriers and there are things that we should know about, policies we should be working on. Would love to hear those directly from you, so please reach out to me. And I think just echoing, you know, Lindsay said we're small and scrappy. That makes us accessible, right? You can build relationships in Pittsburgh in a way that you can't do that in other places. The fact that we've all worked together in various ways for years, it's because Pittsburgh is the type of city that it is. So I think echoing your initial point, like make sure you meet someone tonight, because it's not just us collaborating, but it's all of you working together too. So thank you. And thank you, Anya.
Yeah, thank you all so much. And I think the common theme is don't be afraid to ask for help. The worst that you can get is a no, and that doesn't hurt too much. So thank you for the City of Pittsburgh, Ala and Trevor, for coming our panel today. Take a round, I think. So I'll leave you, I hand it over to you now. So thank you so much, everybody.
If we could get one more round of applause for Anya and the rest of our panelists here. So thank you everyone for kind of joining us today. I think this died, I don't know. Yeah, thank you so much for coming in today and for kind of spending this time with us and sharing your thoughts and discussions. Events like these really could not be possible without you. And to kind of echo something that Juan said, you know, collaboration and making sure that we are having these conversations and coming together is really what's going to push us forward to the next iteration of whatever Pittsburgh becomes. So with that quick plug, I would love to welcome Ray Mueller up here real quick from Innovation Works, who has a little something something.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Yes, everybody, I have a little something for you. We all love coming together to bring together all the different pieces of Pittsburgh's innovative tech and entrepreneurship ecosystem. And we have another great thing coming up next week here at Nova Place. So if you got here today, you can get to this event next week. You can found it. The hardest part is over. But we'll be having our 2 events in one. We're having Good Vibes and our Uprise semi-finalist announcements. Good Vibes is when Innovation Works brings together the tech ecosystem to give back to the city of Pittsburgh, who has given us so much, as we can see here tonight and other times. And Uprise is our partnership with BNY Mellon, where we look for business nonprofits and for-profits who have technology ideas related to racial equity, economic justice, and sustainability, and award them up to $150,000 for their business. And we're announcing those semi-finalists next week on July 20th at 6 p.m. The entire event is from 4 to 7 p.m. and you're welcome to sign up. We have QR codes right outside. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for coming.
And with that, everyone, that kind of concludes our evening for the day. Thank you again for coming out. QR codes up here for each of the panelists, as well as Anya, our moderator. We've got the QR codes out here for the next week's event. Have a fantastic evening. Safe travels.